Hello and welcome to an enemy update, and I am going to do my best to do this facing the camera. Yeah, so a little bit past where I'm usually doing these. I usually try and do these on the 9th, but I saw it coming and just completely watched it go past. Yeah. So basically the update on me is, well, last time I did an update, it was I was signed off. Ended up being an extra week on top of that, so it was 3 weeks signed off, and it's been a bit of a. I've had 3 weeks back now, and obviously part of that was the Easter holidays, and it's been weird still. I'm not better really. Better than I was, but I'm not better, and I don't think I am. I think this time I've used the phrase properly broken. Yeah. So, trying to be proactive about it, because I am trying to do my best. Like I say, I've got them to be better. I'm playing an awful lot of flight sim still. Trying to do as many aviation things as I can. And obviously I include my model kits and everything. I did dabble with trains again, but I just can't. I can't, because I've got no one to talk to about it that understands the well, particularly the trains of Japan. No one seems to understand. You know, there's no one really that knows what I'm talking about. If I say a C62 or a DQ51, they might know the DQ51 these days if they know me, but there's just no. And that came to a bit of a head on Discord. I posted up a video. To be honest, it wasn't a video that was particularly requiring knowledge or anything beyond just knowing about trains. Yeah, sorry about my sticky up tuft. I do wash my hair, I promise. I need it cutting really. That's the only way to solve that. Yes, just, you know, it was basically a locomotive was, they applied the brakes on wet rails and it just slid. And I was just like, okay, yeah, it might be interesting to see. And nothing, no response or anything, and it's been a number of times on there that's happened, and it just sort of spoke everything. I've got no one. I've still got no one to talk to about it. It's just not bringing me any happiness at all on that one. So yeah, that's very much a watch this space. I was actually on Instagram literally about half an hour ago, and so I've got Flight Sim running here. You see the light changes, just the light changing in the sim. Flown the Spitfire from Duxford to Newark and actually landed it in the field where the helicopters land there at Newark Air Museum. Parked near the Buccaneer, between the Buccaneer and the Vulcan at the minute. Whilst I've been sort of sat there, just chilling out, because now it's light. It's not grueling, because also there's no weight or anything like that, but there's concentration involved, and now the navigation side of things. So I was navigating by roads. Well, I first headed off to East Midlands Airport, and navigating by roads to get here. I'm just chilling out for a minute. All works. If you heard that car on. Yeah, so actually just giving someone a follow, doing British content. Not that I'm particularly interested in British trains, but I don't know. I feel it's quite a brave thing to strike out doing your layout updates on Instagram. So I felt like give the guy some support, you know. I'm quite proud. It's a very nice video of 2857 leaving Highly on his little intro thing, which was quite nice. But anyway, so hobby wise, it's been very aviation focused, and anyone who's seen the past couple of videos have been Shuttleworth, Sywell and Newark yesterday, and yes, I have sinned, and I'm very excited to say that I have the Airfix V-Bomber Trio on their way. I finally got the bundle. Having finished listening to Harry 809, Roland White's book, a very good book by the way, really enjoyed that one. You can go from knowing not an awful lot about the Falklands to quite a bit in a short space, because it really sets the scene around more than just the Harriers. It's all in context with what else is going on politically and otherwise, but not presented in a boring format. I really enjoyed it. So I've got did read Vulcan 607 years ago. I attempted to. I don't think I've actually got to finishing it, but I used my Audible credit to get Vulcan 607. It's read by the same narrator and everything as Harry 809, and it's a joy to listen to. So I'm really stoked for V bombers. I've actually done a list of aircraft that I have sat in or been in. Now, obviously, I can't include all the civil airliners that I've been in over the years, because who knows what the ones those were. If I could pin down exact dates leaving, I'm sure someone could actually furnish me with the information. It would be interesting to add them, I suppose. But getting the dates is another thing. Anyway, a lot of them. I do apologise, but it's straight away to another one. But yes, 64 airframes before yesterday, and I did another 3. But I did notice I'd done Vulcans. I'd done. There used to be a no section at Cosford. I've done that one. It's not on display anymore. I've done XL360 at Coventry, and I have done XH558 when it was under restoration at Bruntingthorpe. But I hadn't done XM594, which is Newark's example, and so I contacted them on Twitter and said, "Oh, just noticed I've done this list and I haven't done your Vulcan yet. When's the next opportunity, please?" And they said, "Oh, actually, it's our 50th anniversary opening this weekend, and great opportunity then." So yesterday I popped over and had a wonderful time, and got to my Vulcan tour. Interior tour was done by Bill Ramsey, who was the last display pilot to land Vulcan XH558 when it finally all ended. He performed the very last flight. I remember watching it via the live stream, and it was a very sad occasion. But it was an amazing event to actually have it back flying at all. But it was really interesting hearing his stories and hearing what he had to say about the Vulcan. It's learning that it generates enough power to power a town like a town roughly the size of Newark, and you think that's one individual aircraft. That's quite a lot of electricity. But yes, so naturally this led to me going, right, well, I know I want the Vulcan. The Vulcan on its own is 70 odd quid. I like the Valiant a lot. In fact, the Valiant, bless its heart, was my favourite of the V bombers until yesterday, but 594's stolen me all over. So yeah, I'm a Vulcanite now. A Vulcanite? I am a Vulcan person now. But anyway, I thought, well, but I want the Valiant. It would be nice to have the Valiant, and I've spoken to my chum Greg about the Victor, the B2 Victor, as well. I am building a Victor. You can just see its wing here. It's the Matchbox Victor. It's a K2. But I figured, well, say the fact the Vulcan's 70 odd quid on its own, and the bundle was only 150 quid. It's like, it's not far, is it? It's really not far to jump to just getting all 3, and then they're all in my arsenal. So yes. So whilst on the subject of Newark and purchasing things, I did get myself some goodies yesterday. New t-shirt from the Phantom Group. Really like that. That was very cool. 594 features. This is a piece of the skin from the tail, the vertical stabilizer, and there is a certificate of authenticity on the back, which is really, really rather cool there. And then part of the fin flash, this is your blue, you have the red. Depending on which way you look into it, however you're looking at it. If it was this side, the red would be here. If it was this side, the red would be here. So, but I thought I'd get one with the rivet hole in as well, just to give that extra bit as well. Yeah, really nicely framed and everything. I thought for £25 that's good. And that £25 actually, what was really cool was, I didn't realise this, but when I paid by card, but he took £25 out of the till, and that goes into a separate Vulcan team fund as well, so it literally goes directly to back to the aircraft, which is really, really cool. There were some Cold War V-Force veterans there, and I thought, well, this one's pretty cool. Got V-Force boys. This is, so you have Vulcan boys, Victor boys, and Valiant boys. The stories there, and apparently a load of the guys came out and said, "Oh, you never asked me. You never asked me." So we tried to cover all of them. The guy, I think it was Anthony Wright. Anthony Wright was. He did sign it. Yeah, Anthony Wright was telling me we did try and get around all of them, but first time around. But anyway, they went round again, and this is a collection of all those stories. But that's Vulcan, Victor, and Valiant. And I thought it was just a nice little overview book. It'd be a good one to get. It is signed by one of the authors. I do have a book signed by Tony Blackman, which is Vulcan Test. Is it just Test Pilot or a Vulcan Test Pilot? But it's Matthew Shuttleworth. But there it is, signed by the author. And later on in the day, I was stung again because I had another look at the stall, and I got picked at this, flying backwards, facing forward. Flying forwards, facing backwards. Or yes. And this is by one of the guys who was in the rear seat of the Vulcans, and went on to Nimrods afterwards. And it was quite nice to talk to him as well. He actually signed it to me. The other chap did ask me if I wanted to sign it. This guy just did it automatically. That's Jim Walls. It's very nicely signed as well. It's nice, fantastic. So I'm getting quite a collection of aviation books that I've been very lucky to get signed in person by the people either authored it, co-authored it, or did the forwards for them and everything like that. Yeah, and I owned Hudson and said, look, I'm a big diet of World War II knowledge. I'm looking towards the Lancaster over there. Big diet of World War II knowledge, and I don't know an awful lot about the Cold War. I always put it off because I've seen a lot of it on Gentlemen, the whole spies and the nuclear stuff doesn't interest us. But I'm now starting to learn there are loads more stories than the nuclear deterrent. Even within the nuclear deterrent, it was in the Air Force's hands, especially. That there's a lot more to learn. There's a lot of actually quite interesting things to learn about, and missions and things that we're flying. So I'm looking forward to that. And obviously, people who know me will know I've really got into Vietnam over the last, looking into the Vietnam War over the last few years, really. In fact, there were some pictures came from my memories of 2015 when I was building a Huey then. So yeah. But I'm gonna say here, I'm actually looking now to move on some of my Vietnam War era aircraft kits that I haven't built yet. Try and swap them out for British aircraft into British schemes where possible. I'm gonna finish that Sky Raider as the American one, but I think the other two Sky Raiders I've got, including the one I picked up a Cywell on here recently, because they're the wrong type to do the British aircraft, I'm going to move those over, move those on. Italeri actually do the correct Sky Raider for the British ones to get. So yes, try and focus in a lot more. So any World War II American aircraft that I can put into British colours will be put into that. And that actually includes my C-47 Spooky, my AC-47 Spooky gunship, which I will keep the gunship parts for separate and just build as a regular C-47. Or even a DC-3, to be honest. If I could get the markings of the one I flew in, that'd be really cool, but I'll have a look around. But yes, that's the plan going forward, because it's not an allergic reaction to American stuff all of a sudden, it's just my interests are moving on. My F4s, now the ones that should have SPAY engines are not going to appear correct, because I believe the intake's got slightly larger, smaller, I think they're larger. But regardless of that, cup of tea. Excuse me. Regardless of that, I'm going to choose not to care. I'm just going to build them up as British Phantoms. There's some very cool schemes I can do on those. I know there are some more correct Phantoms, so I might just select one or two that I can do. There's one I definitely want to do, which I think we'll need to have a proper Phantom kit for, which is de-desperation of the 4-ship flight that was sent to the Falklands after the Falklands War. Yeah, because they had 4 Phantoms to defend it, so taking on from the Malta Gladiators, Faith, Hope, Charity, and then there's Desperation as well, which I just typical Air Force humour and really makes me smile. I've started doing research into Bramcut as an Air Force base, and as on Royal Naval Air Station it became HMS Gamecock when the Navy took over, and they flew Seafires from there. The Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve flew Seafires. There were 5 brands there, Hornets, quite a plethora of Navy aircraft after the war. Avengers flew from Bramcut. So maybe I should put a bid in for the Imperial War Museum's example and bring it to Bramcut and have it show that we do used to fly some actually rather interesting aircraft. At one point it has to be converted to the British ASW version, but I'm sure we can sort this out. During the war, all 4 of the Polish bomber squadrons, I think it was 4, 300, 301, 304 and 305, I want to say, were the 4 squadrons. This is all very new into my head and it'll take a while to sink in properly. But they were all formed at Bramcut with the Ferry Battle. And number 18 OTU did a lot of training from there. They had Vickers Wellingtons. Again, training a lot of the Polish crews again there. So, you know, and again, that's something I would like to look into. Maybe we could sort out some sort of commemorative tribute day or something like that. I don't know. Sort out something, some sort of fly past in the Polish Heritage flight or something like that. Just to mark out the Polish crews trained here, the bomber crews trained here. But yes, so yeah. And as for the channel, well, much more excitement to come. Obviously, as the look at videos, looking at the kits. I still feel I'm doing well not to review them. I've got a little pile of 3 over there to do. Also, when the V bombers arrive, there'll be another 3. And I did start the Lanson for the Just for Fun jet build. I'm going to carry on with the Lanson at some point. But after Harrier 029, after I actually got to sit in the Sea Harrier yesterday, I'm really Sea Harrier stoked, so I'm going to have to go and grab my Tamiya one and put that together. So, yes. Yeah, so there's a lot there. The throwback videos, 20 something of this month, I think it's actually next week's one, might be the final rescued from YouTube and Facebook throwback video to go up for the Japanese railway stuff, and it's going to move on to the aviation stuff, the military stuff. I've got mostly aviation. I've started right back at the beginning and moved on, so I do ask for a bit of consideration on these, in that the camera quality is not going to be what we're used to today in lots of cases. And when I record this, I was a rather excitable teenager in some cases. I believe there is, I do try and quote Mr. Valentine actually from the Titterfield Thunderbolt in one of the Lancaster startup ones. So yeah, it's just a bit of consideration. I was much younger than I am now, and these days, as you know, I don't tend to talk over the sound of an aero engine or my videos at all, really, if I can help it, of a real aircraft. Unless it's to tell you something like yesterday I was showing the throttle and the nozzle control on the Sea Harrier and I was sat inside the cockpit. Also sat in the Phantom, so that's an extra 3 to my list. That'll be, what's that, 67? Why is it? Yeah, 67 here. Which is pretty cool. So yeah, so I think that about wraps it up. It's about almost 20 minutes long. I'm, like I say, I'm not fully well, but at least within my home life I'm a little bit more content, and maybe I still like trains. That's one thing that I do want to make clear. I still like trains. But I just don't know what the future holds for them. Same with Wargaming. I started Blood Angels, Space Marines. Started painting one guy, sprayed up a load of others, and I've done nothing with them since. I'm honestly not sure. I had a conversation with my brother since the last update, and we've actually agreed to move off from Flames of War, so that's something else I've got to get up and sold. So there's an open box sets for Flames. So yeah, you know, it's sort of, yeah, but I am just really enjoying what I'm doing, which is building the Victor here. I did a bit more of the Lightning. I have a P51 here, I can show you, that's in progress. This is an Airfix starter set, P51 Mustang 4, or D-model as the Americans would call it. Yeah, but I'm very excited. We've got some very cool stuff happening with the modelling world and the aviation world in general. I was able to talk to the Veteran Tomorrow Flight PR team yesterday, who are also members of the flight. The chap I was talking to was Lone Master on the C-47 when it flies. And I asked him something that had been in our minds, well, some of our minds between our friends, about any ramifications of the sad loss of Texas Raiders on the UK airshow circuit, and he said nothing to his knowledge so far had been said about that, because of the way we do things differently here. Already I think would negate that, but I did worry. And obviously I hope that there are, when the findings of, what was that? I'm sure I just saw something flick across the screen that way. Oh well, I'll have to watch this back at the end of this, aren't I? Yeah, I'm sure when the findings, I hope when the findings of what, you know, the accident investigation team come to light, that changes are made to prevent that sort of sad incident happening again. It is dreadfully sad, and I don't encourage any speculation by any of us, because we've not. We've all seen the videos and the photographs. Unfortunately, whether we want to or not in some cases. But we don't command all the facts that they'll have at their disposal, so it's best way to think. I will remove any comments that are speculating what caused it. Yes. But what was that's comforted me quite a lot, and also I think one of the other things that comforts me or gives me a sort of, yeah, that's nice in a way, is he expressed they've all felt a shockwave of the sense of loss, even though they didn't know those guys personally or anything, the people lost in the accident, or anyone involved with the commemorative air force or anything like that. There's a community sense of loss. You know, it's nice to hear that they are quite a close-knit community in some ways, you know, in many ways, and it's nice to know they're working together to bring us the glory of heritage aviation in the skies, which is where it belongs. And personally, I really don't like to entertain these people. That's why the question is essentially that sort of thing. But I really don't like these people go, oh, these things are so old now, should we really still be flying them? Because I still maintain that, well, ironically though, because, well, maybe that's not the right word, but anyway, who cares? I still hold that if they're being maintained to the correct standard, then they're no different now than they were 80 years ago. And they're refreshed. In fact, they're probably better condition now. Look, you hear it about Sony restorations where you go, that probably looks better than it did when it rolled off the factory production line, you know, and it's because it's been done with love and care, not to a time schedule for a country at war or a power at war. So it just needed aircraft out the door as fast as possible. But yeah, so it's comforting, it's nice in a way, but yeah, so I think that obviously that's going to help me an awful lot, because I'm not so apprehensive going into the next airshow season. But the one thing that has become clear is I do need to try and track down the BBMF and and see them more often this year, because I just saw them more woefully pitiful short amount of times last year, particularly the lovely old Lancaster. But yes, but anyway, I've bored you all for nearly half an hour. I know not a lot of people watch these ones, but it's good for me to be able to look back, and hopefully I'll be able to see myself improving as time goes on. But yes, the road is going to be very long, but with aviation, I really do feel like I'm not alone anymore. Even if I can't talk to my friends immediately, there's always something I can go and look at and find out about, and people I can interact with who, even we may never talk again, but we can talk for those few moments, and it's nice. I never really felt that with trains. People not quite so territorial, I found so far between. Oh, I like me in a minute. You know, I'm on a big RAF binge. You know, it means I can't talk to Dale anymore about USAF. Don't be daft, you know. Of course I can talk to Dale about the USAF. I'll still talk about Vietnam and stuff like that, but yeah, you know, it's what it is. Anyway, till next time, take care, stay safe, be well, and yes, I've been doing everything I can. Usually I'll record this sort of thing, see myself, and then delete the recording, so I'm just going to upload this straight away. So it's rough and awful, but yeah, take care, folks. Bye.